I'm going to paint this atmospheric seascape painting using just one colour and one brush. Let's get started. I'm using Daniel Smith's Moonglow. You can use any sort of dark colour, Payne's grey, black, etc. It's a very simple seascape here. I've already started. I'm using hot press paper, my Spritzer bottle, and I've sort of painted the sort of mountains in sort of one sort of shape there, some distant mountains and even a little bit of water. But I'm actually using the mountain colour, the Moonglow, with the Spritzer bottle, tilting my paper so that it runs into the sky wet in wet. Make sure you've got plenty of paper towels or old rags to mop up the excess paint. I'm wetting the sky area now using just one brush, my size 10 black velvet round brush. I use it all the time. It's my go-to brush, and I've mixed up a little bit of the Moonglow there, painting top left hand corner, wet into wet, tilting, trying to get as much atmosphere as I can here. And I'm spritzing now with my Spritzer bottle all over that there to sort of dilute the paint, create some happy accidents, and just keep tilting and just see what happens. I'm just mopping up there so that doesn't run back into the painting. And I'm actually now drizzling water into this sky with my brush as well, and painting a really pale wash going towards the horizon, wet into wet, pulling some of that mountain colour into the sky as well. I'm now painting the sea here using the Moonglow, and just leave lots of light as well. It's so important to have light in your painting. I've actually got some dark paint there as well, so I've got a lovely contrast of dark and light. I'm wetting this beach area with my size 10 brush. I'm mixing up a puddle of the Moonglow colour, spritzing the foreground there. You can wet it with your brush, but I've decided to use my Spritzer bottle. Try to keep away from your mountains and sky area, or you could wait for them to dry off. And I'm painting this now wet into wet, trying to keep a lot of light between the sea, the sort of shoreline there, and I'm tilting again using the tip of the brush to create a little bit of texture and marks in the beach area. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of table salt in the foreground, left and right. This will absorb some of the paint and create some amazing textures and lights. I'm using a plastic card. It's just a plastic card cut up, a store card. I'm painting using creamy paint onto this damp surface here, some of these rocks to the right hand side, almost sculpting them with my card, you know, sort of going around, seeing the sort of different marks and shapes I can get, and then swiping off at the bottom there where I've got some paint across the shoreline to create a lovely dark edge and a light beach area. I'm actually painting in these rocks here with the card, really being bold with my marks. It's on a damp surface, just using that Moonglow colour, quite thick and creamy with the card. It's so freeing up to use a card to apply paint and just using one brush and one colour. And in watercolour, this is where the less is more. There's less materials here. I'm just using one colour with some simple techniques, applying the paint with the plastic card and building up light to dark. The best way to improve your watercolours is to tell yourself, less is more. Try not to overwork your paintings. Don't try to perfect them. It really will help improve your watercolour painting. You could leave your painting to dry like that, or you could spritz a little bit more to create more drama, more abstraction and more atmosphere. It creates a lot of light as well. While the painting dried off a bit, it's time now to lift off some of the rocks there using my plastic card. Make sure the paint's not too wet, or otherwise it will all run back on itself. But it creates a little bit of light. Look at that. It really does create lots of texture and details. And look at the salt as well. You probably can't pick this up on the video, but as the salt's lifted off and created these lovely light textures, there's almost a bluey tinge. I think that's the Moonglow that does that. It's such a versatile colour. You've got this dark violet, pink, and almost a sort of a pale blue as well. I've lifted off a little bit more paint, as you saw there. I've allowed the painting to dry, and I'm just masking out the sort of the whole painting except for these little rock area where the waves are splashing up against those rocks there. I'm using white gouache. You could use white acrylic, white watercolour or white acrylic ink. I'm using my still one brush, the size 10 brush, to spatter some of the white on the rocks, and I've decided to discard the paper towel and just spatter a little bit here and there to create some atmospheres. Where the little spatter, the white went, I'm just softening here and there as well, so you can lift off if you don't like where it's spattered. I've decided to paint a few birds in the sky to create a bit of life. I usually paint one large, medium and small towards the horizon, and I've still using the size 10 brush with the Moonglow paint. I'm removing the washi tape now. Love this tape. It doesn't seem to tear the paper, thank goodness. And it reveals a lovely white border. And here is the finished painting. I'm really pleased with it. It looks so atmospheric, and I've just used one brush and one colour. And I've tried to keep it really simple, really kind of telling myself less is more. This is a short clip of an exclusive tutorial I have available on my Patreon membership, where I paint the same scene, this time using two colours and including lots of yummy techniques. I show you how to create depth here, and just using the two colours really does help simplify things, especially if you are a beginner starting out in watercolour. And as you can see here, I'm painting damp into damp using my size 10 round brush, building up the darks here to create depth in my painting. If you would like to support the content that I create here on YouTube and get access to my weekly exclusive tutorials, why not think about joining my Patreon membership? Details about the membership can be found in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Happy painting. Bye for now.